Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Friday, January 25th. My name is Michelle, and this is today's market wrap-up. Starting off, a group including Chinese deputy ministers will arrive in Washington on Monday to pave the way for the next round of trade talks between Vice Premier Liu He and U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin from January 30th to 31st, with about 5 weeks remaining until a deadline for the U.S. to escalate tariffs on $200 billion of Chinese goods. PBOC Governor Yi accompanied Liu for earlier trade talks in Washington in May and was among Chinese officials who participated in negotiations with the U.S. in Beijing in June. The two sides do not appear close to agreement on a wide range of disputes, from China's handling of intellectual property to the imbalance in goods flows between the two nations. The latest sign the trade war is hurting global growth came in German business confidence this morning, which dropped to a near three-year low. Going on to the next headline, Chancellor of the Exchequer Philip Hammond suggested he could quit the government in protest if the UK plunges out of the European Union with no deal in 9 weeks' time. The House of Commons is trying to prevent that from happening in a series of votes scheduled for January 29th, with pound traders bullish as they see the chances of a no-deal Brexit fading. Away from the politics, companies are still struggling to get contingency plans in place. Going on to the next headline, stocks rose, pairing the first weekly decline of the year as corporate earnings bolstered confidence in the economy and President Donald Trump said U.S. lawmakers agreed to reopen the government on an interim basis. Treasuries yields rose and the dollar weakened against most of its major peers. The deal was a dramatic turnaround for Trump after insisting for 5 weeks that he wouldn't allow the government to reopen without funding for a border wall. He pivoted as his job approval plunged, air travel was disrupted, and smooth processing of tax refunds was threatened. With Friday's gains, global equities are now poised for their 5th straight weekly increase. Investors have begun earlier in the week to question the scope of the post-Christmas rally as the earnings season rolls on. Now, let's see what happened with the markets today. The North American markets are up, with the Nasdaq up 1.22%. The European markets are mixed. The CAC 40 is up almost 2%, but the FTSE 100 is down 0.14%. Moving on to Asian markets, they are all positive, with the Hang Seng up 1.65%. In terms of currencies, the CAD is down, WTI oil is up 1%. Metals are both down 1/3%. Thank you for listening to today's market wrap-up.